You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Saturday the 22nd of November, 2025. It is 61 days after the fall equinox. It is 29 days before the winter solstice. By the French Republican calendar, it is the second day of Frimaire, the day of the tournée, the cattle turnip. The sun rises today at 6:51 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 11:42 a.m. The sun sets today at 4:32 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 5:02 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 5:36 p.m. The length of daytime today is 1 minute 43 seconds shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 5% full at midday. The first quarter will arrive on Friday, the 28th of November. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the wee hours, low tide, 4:50 a.m., 21 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 11:09 a.m., 1 meter 55. In the evening, low tide, 5:27 p.m., 0 centimeters. Near midnight, high tide, 11:44 p.m., 1 meter 28. In our shared realm of plants and animals, it is a surprise to see that the Japanese pagoda trees along 34th Street near 31st Avenue are still green, very green. The sprays of seed pods are also still prominent amongst the leaves. This makes them among the last trees to turn. Despite its name, the tree was originally native to the dry plains of western China. It was first recorded in North America in the 1811 catalogue of the Elgin Botanic Garden in Manhattan. The garden was maintained by Dr. David Hossack, a botanist and physician who was interested in plant-based medicines. It was located near what is now Rockefeller Center. Dr. Hossack grew his specimen in a greenhouse, as his specimen probably originated in southern China. But the proud trees of 32nd Street demonstrate the pagoda tree's hardiness and tenacity. Commemorations. On this day in 1842, Mount St. Helens in Washington experienced a massive eruption. It was the first eruption of the volcano documented in written history. The volcano remained active until the early 1850s, then went quiet until its explosive eruption on May 18, 1980. In that quiet period between eruptions, the forests had regrown thick and lush, and memories had faded. Aviation milestones. On this day in 1935, Pan American's China Clipper departed Alameda, California on the San Francisco Bay, bound for Manila. Its flight inaugurated the first commercial air service across the Pacific Ocean. The China Clipper was a flying boat and was one of the largest airplanes of its time. The first flight carried no passengers, but was loaded with mail. A crowd of 25,000 people watched it take off. On its ascent, it was supposed to fly over the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge near its takeoff point, but the pilot realized the plane was too heavy, so he flew it under the bridge. On its journey, the China Clipper stopped for refueling and rest stops in Honolulu, Midway Island, Wake Island, and Guam. It arrived in Manila a week later, on the 29th of November. A solemn anniversary. On this day in 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. The shooting took place at 12:30 p.m., and Kennedy was pronounced dead just 30 minutes later. Lyndon Johnson took the oath of office aboard Air Force One at 2:38 p.m. Jackie Kennedy was at his side, still wearing the clothes she had on during the fateful motorcade. Moments later they would take off, John Kennedy's coffin on board. And another solemn anniversary. On this day in 2014, Tamir Rice was killed by a police officer in Cleveland. The young black boy was just 12 years old and was playing outdoors with a toy gun. The officer mistook it for a real gun and fired 2 shots. Tamir Rice died the next day of his wounds. His death at the hands of the police was one of the incidents that led to the nationwide Black Lives Matter movement. Today we wish a happy birthday to Terry Gilliam, born this day in 1940. He began his career as an animator and came to prominence through Monty Python's Flying Circus. In his post-Python career, he has directed 13 feature films, including Time Bandits, Brazil, The Fisher King, and 12 Monkeys. Happy birthday, Terry Gilliam. And that is the Observatory, Saturday the 22nd of November, 2025.